appreciation is crucial in a marital relation. Do I spend time with my wife and my husband? Do I admire him or her? Does the picture of my husband and in my head, is it positive or negative? So what did we say? We said three things. One, avoid mind reading. Avoid judging the intention of a person. I can speak about the behavior, I can speak about the action as much as I want. But the moment I go to the personality and I start by attacking the person, it goes south, right? So this is one. Two, gentle and soft startup. I can always say the right thing, but it's not about saying the right thing or the wrong thing. Sometimes it's about what, as we said, gentleness, الرفق. So that's the second thing that moderates the conflict, right? Reduces. The third thing, if there is an issue and a problem between me and my husband, me and my wife, and I want to discuss it, the first thing I ask myself, the last week, did I tell her that I love her? How many times I appreciated her? How many good things that she said and I really appreciated? If I find, I can't remember, don't start a conflict. It's not going to go well. Unless I filled her bank, her emotional bank, with lots of appreciation, unless she feels admired, it's not a good time to start a conflict, if you will, right? Finally, I would say the following, and reminding us that when we learn about conflict resolution, when we learn about communication, many people, the mistake is they think it's a skill, it's a technique. It's about the heart. They say كل كلام يبرز وعليه كسوة القلب الذي منه برز. Words appear cloaked with the state of the heart that they came out from. So it is not about the words that leave my mouth. It's about the heart from which those words left. And the heart is what? It's about empathy. And empathy is simply what? Putting myself in the shoes of this other person. Why is he saying this? And perhaps I'll finish with one story showing how the Prophet ﷺ really did this. He avoided mind reading. He avoided judging intentions, right? And you can judge the act, but the person is different. The story of Hatib ibn Abi Balta'a, and we'll finish with that story. That is a companion that was with the Prophet ﷺ in the Battle of Badr. But towards the end of the mission of the Prophet ﷺ, something happens. When he ﷺ was going to open Mecca, and he did not want bloodshed. So he wanted to surprise the people of Mecca with a big army in a way that they cannot put a fight. So he opens Mecca peacefully. So he wanted to surprise them. Hatib ibn Abi Balta'a did something really interesting. That righteous man, companion, sent a letter to Abu Sufyan. Abu Sufyan was the leader of the Mushrikeen at the time of Mecca, telling him that the Prophet ﷺ is heading your way. Pay attention and get ready. That's treason. That would result in what? That they will start fighting. It leads to bloodshed. That's a terrible thing to do, right? And Jibril comes, informs the Prophet ﷺ. They intercept the message. They get it to the Prophet ﷺ, and here is what happens. The Prophet ﷺ is sitting, and then he says, "Bring the letter. Read it." And they read the letter in front of everybody. From Hatib ibn Abi Balta'a to Abu Sufyan, know that the Prophet ﷺ is heading your way. Prepare. And then the Prophet ﷺ look at Hatib. That's treason. He tells him, "Ya Hatib, what is this? Mad?" Umar ibn al-Khattab became upset. Rightfully so, because that is treason. He said, "O Prophet of Allah, that's hypocrisy. Let me get rid of this hypocrite." See, this is what? Not only this is hypocrisy, and that's a hypocrite. Now, the person. The Prophet ﷺ said, "La ya Umar," no. And notice what he ﷺ said. "I'm not going to judge his intention. The action is wrong. What he did is wrong. But I want to understand why he did it. I'm not going to assume and mind read why he did it. Oh, he did it because... No. Ya Hatib, ما دفعك لهذا? Ya Hatib, why did you do this? I'm not going to assume. I'm not going to mind read. Tell me. The action is wrong. We agree. But you're a good man. Why did you do this?" And Hatib ibn Abi Balta'a said, "O Prophet of Allah, I'm a believer. I know that you are going to win. I know that Allah is going to give you Mecca. My family is living in Mecca, and there is no one to protect it. And I was afraid that if we approach Mecca, Abu Sufyan might end up hurting my own family members. So I wanted to write this letter for him, not that it's going to change anything, but then Abu Sufyan will consider it a favor, and he will spare my family from harm." The action is still wrong. So what he did is wrong. But is he a hypocrite? No. Why did he do that? Because he's a father. Because at one point he became weak. The love of his children, the love of his family got the best of him. He's human. It is still, the action is still wrong, but he's not a hypocrite. And then when Umar radiallahu anh said, "Oh Prophet of Allah, let me get rid of this hypocrite," the Prophet said, "La ya Umar, no." And notice what he sallallahu said, now the principle we spoke about, La ya Umar, he attended the battle of Badr. I remember the good things for him, not only the negative things. See, good things omit bad things. He's one of the people of the battle of Badr. He did good before. He's not a hypocrite. That's a weakness in him. But he has some weaknesses, yet he has some positives. And maybe Allah forgave all the people of Badr for what they did. Umar ibn al-Khattab started crying because of this type of... This is the empathy of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When my husband does something wrong, when my wife does something wrong, one, ask why. Because sometimes it is not that they're evil or they want something negative or they're miserly, which is... No. Sometimes it is something human. It is a human weakness. And that is empathy. Number two is what? Remember the positives they did. Yeah, my husband did one day he ignored me. He didn't answer because he was too busy, and he didn't come in time, and he didn't text me, and it was wrong. But at the same time, how many times he did good things for me? Do I remember the good things? Or it's all about him and his negativity and lack of empathy, and then mind reading and assumptions, and he doesn't love me anymore, and all what he cares is about himself. That's when things go south. So those are the principles I just wanted to share with you in our limited time from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.